All right, boys. It's time to have some fun. Time to look into the future. It's time to draft. Time to make some mock drafts. Everyone loves doing it, but it is definitely the most important part of this offseason for the Seattle Seahawks. The draft is going to be vital in the Seahawks' success this year and success in the future, and it's fun to look at. So today, we're going to be doing two different mock draft simulations, one on Pro Football Focus and one on Pro Football Network. I don't really like either of them. Obviously, it's you're not going to make a perfect mock draft like simulator, but you know, different boards, different all this that kind of goes into how teams pick. It makes it kind of wonky. But yeah, today we're going to take a look. Going into this, I am assuming that we're going to get a veteran linebacker later on. Today, as of now, we have gotten Devin Bush. We haven't signed Bobby Wagner or any other veteran linebacker. We have filled D tackle. So, especially with Jalen Carter's off the field issues and his issues that he had at the pro day being some glaring red flags, I'm not going to be taking him at 5, even if he is available. He may still go really early in the mock draft sims because I don't think they're really updated for his value or most of the people's values after the combine for that matter. But yeah, so Jalen Carter is not someone I'm going for no matter what, unless he's there at like 20. Um, Linebacker, I'm going to assume that we're going to fill that with a veteran. Maybe we still take a linebacker in the draft, but I would think that'd be like a more second, third, maybe fourth round guy type thing. We got Drew Lock back. I'm not going to be looking quarterback early on unless someone like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud drops to 5. Anthony Richardson at 5 sounds amazing, but at 5, I think it would make more sense to get a key contributor on defense. Someone like Will Anderson if he's there or Tyree Wilson. But enough prefacing. Let's get into the mock draft. So we're going with these settings because the default settings weren't available for me. We're going 5 rounds. We're going to have some fun. Now, we start off the draft just about exactly how I expected, except for Jalen Carter going 3. I don't think that's going to happen in real life. But CJ Stroud, Bryce Young is there at 3. That's insane. I don't know how Bryce Young made it out of the top 4. And of course, Bryce Young is an incredible talent. But I'm just going to be honest. I don't expect him to make it out of the top 4, so I'm not going to take him. I think it would be Stroud, Young, probably Will Anderson, and then Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. But in assuming assuming Will Anderson would have got taken, I would take Tyree Wilson here. But if Will Anderson makes it to 5, that's like the most unquestioned pick. Will Anderson at 5 is absolutely and utterly fantastic. Now, moving on through, Tyree Wilson has been taken, Miles Murphy has been taken, Lucas Van Ness has been taken. A lot of the very, very good defensive ends have been taken. And this is where I'm going to get a little bit weird and wacky. All right. Nolan Smith, incredible athlete. He had an incredible he had an incredible combine. And watching his highlights, he's good. He looks insane at 20. Cansey looks very good as well as an interior defensive guy. But we got two D tackles locked up for 2+ years. Are we really going to take a D interior defensive lineman? We could. Broderick Jones, very good. We don't need tackles. We already have our tackles for the future. We could take Bijan Robinson, but I'm going to assume we get a running back, and I'm not thinking we're trying to replace Kenneth Walker. So I think here we would try and take a day one impact guy, someone like Nolan Smith. Someone like Felix, I don't even want to try to say his last name. Maybe we take a Dayon Henley. But even though he's ranked very low on Pro Football Focus, I think the pick here at 20, because, in the actual world, in the actual draft, it seems like he might even get taken before 20 because he has a lot of hype because he's very, very good. Interior offensive line is a big need for us. Even with Evan Brown, I think we take Osiris Torrence. Don't get too mad at me, all right? I'm sorry. I had to do it. Osiris Torrence is a guy that I have completely and utterly just fallen in love with for this draft. And now John Michael Schmitz is another guy that I don't know why he's ranked so low here at 68, but he's almost guaranteed going to be taken before our next pick. I would take him in real life. That's who I really do want. I think there's a lot more depth at defensive end than there is at center or interior offensive line just in general. So, I'd love to take him. Also, Darnell Washington, don't know how he's down here. I would love to take John Michael Schmitz, but I also really, really like Tommy. I'm not even gonna. I'll try and say it. Adetoma, Adetomiwa Adebawore. You know, that's the best I can do it. But I have really. I do like him. I think he could be a very good player. And we're passing up on John Michael Schmitz. I think in real life he gets taken, and I don't think he got taken between our picks. Hendon Hooker goes, Darnell Washington goes. If Darnell Washington fell to 51, I would have taken him. In real life, he's not even getting out of the first round. That man is incredible. Where is this man now? John Michael Schmitz, second pick of the second round. Got to take him. Center, left guard of the future, filled. Damian Lewis is a guy that maybe Evan Brown still starts over Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis has kind of struggled over the past few years. He's been good. Hasn't been great. Now we come to the fun part of the draft, where my knowledge starts to really fall off. I know a couple guys. I know Tank Bigsby, of course. I know A.T. Perry. I know Luke Schoonmaker, mainly because he has a funny name. But when it comes to like linebackers, I'm not exactly sure who's at this position. There's still a lot of guys I need to look at. I know Ivan Pace is a very athletic guy. Noah, see what is that? That's got to be Penei Sewell's brother. But tight end Tucker Kraft, pretty solid guy. We do need a tight end. Maybe not need. We have 3 tight ends on roster, but they're all of their contracts are up after this year. So I don't think we're signing all 3 of our tight ends back after this next season. So I think we may want to take a tight end here, Tucker Kraft. I'm not exactly sure how good he is in real life, but I've heard his name, and I've played some Madden. I've drafted him. He ended up being very good. So I'm a bit biased, but here without Nathaniel Dell's a very good player. I mean, we could look at taking wide receiver at 3 because Tyler Lockett is getting up there in age. You know what? It's between. I think it's between A.T. Perry and Kraft. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go Kraft. This might be a controversial decision, but Tucker Kraft is a guy. Tight end is something that we're gonna have to fill after this next year. It's tough, but I think that's the pick, especially because I think going in here, Ivan Pace may just be the guy that we take. Here's a guy that I like a lot. Never mind, he got taken. Jake Haener, he got taken by the Patriots. I love this dude. I was watching him play. I remember he played UCLA. Like, got his entire abdomen destroyed, like his ribs blown up, and he still came out and put on a game-winning drive with like 50 seconds left. Absolutely incredible. But here at 122, I think that Ivan Pace, his upside is just incredible. He may not be the greatest right now, but from what I remember, if I remember the combine correctly, Ivan Pace did great. Or I don't know if it was a combine. I just remember Ivan Pace is someone that I know for being athletic. I could be completely just wrong. It might be someone else, but Ivan Pace is the guy I'm going to take at 122. Someone that can grow behind whoever we're going to pick up, a veteran linebacker that I assume we're going to get. And here, unquestioned, this is another completely biased guy from watching Jake Haener, Jalen Cropper. Absolutely love this dude. He had some incredible games. He had some incredible catches, taking him in the 5th round. And then our last 5th round pick. At this point, I think there's a lot of guys we could go. McBride is a guy that I would not be upset with, a late round kind of backup running back. But, Ojomo would be a pretty solid guy as well, too, at this pick. But I just want to get this out of the way. Jalen Redmond would be a very good pick, too. He looked good at the combine. He is big, and he's surprisingly athletic. But, even though Jared Clark, another guy, I just can't keep my train of thought. Even though there are definitely guys that I would take at 5, just because I want to have it there. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think he's more of a 7th round guy. Watching him has been incredible. He runs like an absolute madman. He does absolutely. He had so many hurdles, so many jukes. He looks crazy, and The main weakness that I've heard people talk about for him is his arm strength, but I saw him throw some very accurate, like 60-yard passes, which, maybe isn't the greatest. He clearly had to load it up and throw it, so he's not going to have as good an arm as other guys. But as someone who I think in real life we could get sixth, seventh rounder, I would be completely fine with him sitting behind Geno, learning, and maybe even being able to grow. So even though that's not who I would take in the fifth round, we're not going 6 or 7. That's way too much. So, yeah, we end up going here, and the grade's going to be really low. They always grade the linemen really low, C and C minus. But I do think that O'Cyrus Torrence at 20 would be I think that's a B plus pick. I think John Michael Schmitz, if we get him late second round, that is an A plus. But Ivan Pace, good pick. This is Pro Football Focus. They got wonky boards, they got wonky ratings for players, but Will Anderson at 5 is really all that matters. That's insane. Now we move over to Pro Football Network. Get one more going. We'll just go 3 rounds here. Try and quicken this one up. I don't really know how this one sims. But off the board, somehow, some way, we are rejecting both of these offers. Don't care what it is, because Will Anderson is still on the board at 5. In both mock drafts, we get Will Anderson at 5. I have completely messed up the sizing of this. There we go. Sorry for that. You missed Will Anderson getting drafted to the Seattle Seahawks at 5, but don't worry. You will be able to see the rest. Now at pick 28, we can kind of see here on the right side, this is a huge screen, so I'm sorry if you can't see it. The Bengals are offering us 28 and a second-round pick next year. And we have Brian Brzee on the board, O'Cyrus Torrence. I mean, I'm just not really I'm not one for variety. I'm taking O'Cyrus Torrence again. You just have to at that point. Oh, and this is perfect. This is absolutely incredible. I don't know if you see this name on the right side here, Nolan Smith. That boy, if we get Nolan Smith early second round, that'd be incredible. I'm taking him, no question about it. I'm trying to speed run here. The Vikings are offering us to trade down. Yeah, it's going to be a no from me. That is a huge trade down. I mean, we do get a second round pick next year. Will the Vikings be good? They'll probably be pretty good. So I don't think we take that. Unfortunately, my tried and true method of taking the center here isn't going to work out too well, because Joe Tippmann is not. Joe Tippmann and Will, it's a big drop off after John Michael Schmitz. But we do still have my boy. Where is he at? Tommy. We got him. I'm not even going to try to say that name. But now in the third round, here I think Dalton Kincaid is still available. Ivan Pace is available. There's a lot of very good picks at round 3, and we're only doing 3 rounds. So I'm going to have to take Dalton Kincaid. So in this draft, a little bit different. Still pretty much the same. Will Anderson, we got him at 5. O'Cyrus. So first round, I've really started to like O'Cyrus Torrence. So I would love Tyree Wilson, O'Cyrus Torrence, Will Anderson, O'Cyrus Torrence as our first round picks. That'd be incredible in my eyes. Got Nolan Smith in the second round. That is a great pickup. Tommy late second. I would also really like that. We pick up 3 edge guys, which is a lot, but we don't have a lot of talent at edge right now. We have potential, but I think Nolan Smith and Will Anderson could be day 1 guys that come out and just completely light it up off the edge. And then Dalton Kincaid in the third round is a very good pick, in my eyes, at the very least. But yeah, that's going to do it for the mock drafts. There's still a lot of people that I need to look at. Right now, it's really just I have my favorites, and if they're available, I take them. So there's still a lot of guys I need to look at before actual draft time comes. But, first round, Will Anderson, O'Cyrus Torrence, I think that's pretty perfect. I can't lie. I think that's a great first round for us. Jalen Cropper, I'd be happy getting him in the 5th. Ivan Pace in the 4th. I don't think he makes it there, but that is pretty good. John Michael Schmitz, he's not making it late second. That's why Pro Football Focus is kind of wonky for me. But John Michael Schmitz, I think, is going to be an early second round pick, even a first rounder. But O'Cyrus Torrence and John Michael Schmitz, I hope we get one of them in the draft. And then Will Anderson, that'd be incredible. But I think it's going to be more than likely Tyree Wilson that we get in the draft. But if we get to the draft and by some crazy chance the Panthers take Bryce Young, and the Texans just say, well, we wanted Bryce Young. We don't care anymore. We're taking Will Anderson. And then the Cardinals take someone like Tyree Wilson. And then, of course, the Colts would take like another quarterback. If somehow CJ Stroud is available at 5, we're taking CJ Stroud. If Will Anderson and Tyree Wilson are both off the board. If Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson, Bryce Young, and CJ Stroud are off the board, I think we trade back. That's just my eyes. That's what I believe for the draft, and that's what I'd want. But let me know down below in the comments what you think. What would you rate my draft? You know, of course, Pro Football Focus didn't like it, but let me know. Who do you want in the first round, second round? I think once you get past the second round, it's kind of just like you can kind of get anyone. It's about filling needs, best player available. There's a ton of options once you get to the late rounds because you can take just the best player that's there. You could fill needs, or you could take the best player that fills a need. Like it gets weird past like round 2 or 3, but overall, yeah, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Look up his highlights. Look up his film. It's incredible what he can do. For a 7th rounder, possibly undrafted guy, take a look. That's about the main thing that I can say here. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Have a great day.